What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV. I wanted to do a video today about some of the incidents that occurred at the weekend in football, some negative situations. First of all, the situation with AFTV at the Arsenal Everton game and the reaction and those, I won't call them fans, but the people and what they tried to do in terms of surrounding Robbie outside the ground was very disappointing. And I think people need to start looking at the bigger picture, because I think within the Arsenal fan base, and these guys, I don't consider fans when you're acting like that, but within our fan base, there's a lot of blame culture at Arsenal. We constantly blame Wenger, we blame players at times, and I think sometimes we have to understand the bigger picture in the situation. Now, at the moment, our club, Arsenal Football Club, are in a very, very bad situation. On the pitch, the team isn't good enough. We've had, the managers have changed. The owners haven't really done enough. And there's a lot of ill feeling, I think, amongst the Arsenal fan base, and a lot of frustration, rightly so. So they express it. But what happened at the weekend was expressed totally the wrong way, and I've said many times, I've even done a video about it, how I think Arsenal need new owners personally. Can you imagine how powerful Arsenal would be if they had the Manchester City owners, or if they had Roman Abramovich in charge? Now, what they try to do to Robbie and the way they try to intimidate him and the things they're saying and doing, why do they not express that kind of feeling towards the owner of the football club, who is not investing properly in the club, who is leaving us short on the pitch, who, divers in the transfer market, who's missed out on major deals over the years that could have changed this football club? For example, Luis Suarez, that deal could have changed the whole route that this club went down. But they want to express it like that to Robbie, and you have to question why. Now listen, AFTV isn't for everybody, and I understand that. I'm not oblivious to that. Not everybody is going to like it, but a lot of people do like it. Me, for example, Love Island came on in the summer and I didn't like it. So guess what? I don't watch it. I'm not going to see them in the street and start shouting at them. It doesn't make sense to me. Now, there's people on AFTV who I watch, who I enjoy, and there's some I don't really, listen to. So you choose what you watch and what you don't watch. If you don't want to watch AFTV, don't watch it. I don't take this whole thing that, AFTV is responsible for the downfall of the football club. They've got nothing to do with the defending and the way they're conceding goals. They're just fans. And you have to understand what Robbie has done. He's created something off his own back. It's a positive thing what he's tried to do. Give fans a platform. He's given people opportunities to change and improve their lives, and to give their families better lives and give them a platform to build on for themselves. Now, how in society, with the amount of negative things that are going off at the moment, and you look at the country as a whole, and the whole situation with the Prime Minister and all this, how is that a negative thing? That he's created a platform to come on. People say the same people are on there every week. There is a core of people who go on there every week. But random fans go on there and get interviewed. That's how I got started on there. I turned up, I watched it. I said, yo, bro, do you mind me speaking? That's how everyone who's on that channel started. It's not for everybody, I understand that. But the negative energy towards it, and the way, fans are ignoring the fact that the club has been sinking because of the ownership, but they won't do anything about that. But they're going to blame a YouTube channel for the demise of the football club. Come on now. Get with it. As I've said, is there more to it? You tell me. If he was of a different race, shall we say, would he be criticised as much, or would he be celebrated? Would he be called a pioneer of what he's done and revolutionising fan channels? That's down to opinion. But I think people have to understand that society's changed. Me as well. Social media and stuff. It's something that at times I like, at times I don't. But it's something you have to adjust to. It's a massive part of modern society now. And I think people have to understand this is the way that football, that television, that all these things are going, the direction they're going. Deal with it. if you're a footballer and you're performing to a good standard and you're giving 100% every week, the fans can't really dig you out and criticise you. It's nothing different to what happens on major platforms like Talksport, like Sky Sports. If a player has a bad game, the pundits will criticise them. You've seen it, and some of it's harsh. Talksport, people ring in and hammer fans on it. It's no different. So come on, man. Come on. Stop all that silly energy, man. It's been set up for good reason. It's helped people embrace the fans and uplift their lives and help their families. There's nothing negative about that. And the second thing I wanted to talk about was the incident with Antonio Rudiger in the Chelsea-Tottenham game. Now, another racial comment this weekend. As many people have said, when it happens in an England game against Bulgaria, for example, we go, oh, they need to clamp down on the Bulgarian Football Federation, which is right. But let's get one thing clear. This is happening on our doorstep right now. And this is a regular occurrence. I've never seen as many incidents as I've seen this season in the last 20 odd years in this country. It's becoming almost like a fashion. That's what I feel like people are doing. It's like the in thing for these people to do. And it's crazy, because there are players of different cultures on these teams who they're supporting. Sometimes they're standing next to somebody of the race that they're, racially abusing. And it's being accepted. And that's the problem. That's where my issue is. What have the FA done since that's happened? What have the Premier League done? Why are they not clamping down on this? They don't care about it. Obviously, maybe it doesn't affect them. And I think the only way to try and force a change is by damaging their brand as a whole. The Premier League, I think players have to walk off the pitch. I think the players forget this free rule protocol. Like, oh, the first time we'll make an announcement, the second time we'll warn them, and the third time we'll walk off the pitch. That's not going to change anything. So he can say that once, and then he'll get away with it. If they get that kind of criticism and abuse in the stadium, they need to walk out. Right? You lot sort out this stadium, get them people out, ban them, prosecute them, and we'll come back on the pitch, because you don't become a professional footballer to receive that kind of treatment. And in this country as well, they're not even trying to deal with it. They make some half-hearted statement and nothing changes. It happens again the next week. We saw it in the Manchester derby a couple of weeks ago, and then it happened again yesterday. I have to say well done to Gary Neville, because he went on Sky Sports and he spoke some real truth. And them people in the background who were telling Dave Jones, the presenter, to say, oh, we don't stand behind those comments. And then David Jones didn't support Gary Neville in his comment on a personal level, shall we say. Gary Neville just didn't care. He said what we was all thinking. And why is no one taking action? I think the players have to take it into their own hands. And this is very similar to what I'm saying about Arsenal fans. Take it into your own hands. You don't have to be negative. With unity, you can force change if you do it in the right way. You come together, you can force an owner out of a football club if you put enough pressure on them. Equally, I think players of culture have to put pressure on the Premier League and the FA and say, we're not going to accept this. You know what? Next week, I'm not going to play in that stadium. I refuse to play, because that's what's happened and you haven't dealt with it. That guy should be banned, prosecuted, and named and shamed. And anybody it happens to, it should happen straight away. They should be doing stadium bans. They should be threatening clubs that will deduct points off you. But there's no real worry there. So these clubs are not dealing with it properly because there's no effect. Oh, we make some statement and nothing changes. Really disappointing. And in this society, me, I'm a family man. I've got kids, and I don't want to have to explain to them what is happening on the football pitch. And these authorities need to get hold of it and sort this situation out before, because how long is it going to continue before something else happens? You don't know how people are going to react. It's disappointing, and I just wanted to address those two issues. As I said, really disappointing that the fans are just blaming, a YouTube channel that has tried to give people a platform. And I think it should be, it's something that you make a choice whether you like that or not. But it's certainly not to blame for the way the football club is being run. I think people should be looking at the owners. And the second one, this racial abuse that players are getting, it needs to stop. People need to speak up. A lot of these ex-footballers, they talk a lot once they've retired, but when they were playing, they didn't say nothing, they accepted it, and this is the problem. And you look now, not many footballers in the game currently are speaking up about it and saying we need to do something. Raheem Sterling's very vocal, and I support him in that. So look, I just thought I'd address those two situations, and more content later in the week. Keep subscribing. Let me know what you think about these two situations. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, and I'll be back with more content. Bless.